Maybe it's youthful enthusiasm or arrogance that keeps Joseph so blind to the intention of his brothers. After all, he's 17, according to the verses that we don't read today. And the world, and it would seem his father, are at his fingertips. We know what it would have meant to have a coat with long sleeves in the ancient world, when producing clothes was one of the most labor-intensive things for a household to produce. Having one child get a way better coat was an obvious sign of favor. The brothers hated him. Joseph was a jerk. And the dream of power and authority over 10 brothers older than him was ridiculous and disrespectful of all that the ancient traditions of birthright were supposed to bestow. And as we know from the story between Abraham and Joseph, and perhaps even our own story, that this isn't new. These are timeless themes of sibling rivalry, favoritism, jealousy and hatred, entitlement. Walter Brueggemann insists that the call to the listening community, which is us, is to live between the hint of the dream and the doxology, to let the dream be at work even when the outcome is less than clear. It's no doubt that the family is off balance by the dream. This dream, like most of them, manages to disturb and disrupt. Can you think of dreams that you've had and remembered that didn't manage to disturb or disrupt? Dreams where you wondered what on earth was going on and what you might have eaten the day before that would have caused such a weird dream. It may have been a blessing, but it still disturbed the tranquility of the moment. Dreams can disturb the pecking order. They can cause conflict. They can be political power, as hope to anticipate the end of a present order. Dreams reveal what is remote or hidden from plain sight. But something keeps Joseph attentive to the dream, standing firm to what he had experienced. There is no evidence that he pleaded for his life, that he told the brothers that he was lying. The dream was sometimes something he conjured up to annoy his siblings, and he had no idea that they would actually take it as being fact. He didn't do this. Throughout the story of Joseph, we read parts today, but we didn't read the whole thing. Throughout the whole story of Joseph, Joseph is faithful. He is steady, discerning, listening to the dreams and what they meant to the world around him. He did not allow fear to overwhelm him. He stands firm to the dream and the promise that they could unleash. Let the dream be at work, even when the outcome is less than clear. We have no idea, most of the time, what our outcomes might be. We have dreams for our children, but no idea what the outcome will be. We have dreams for our careers, but things happen that change the course. We have dreams for our church, and we don't know. Our experience of this place, what will happen? We have anxiety We are curious about what might be revealed. This is what I think I know about God. God is God and will work for God's love and justice-filled purposes through humanity or despite humanity. Whether we choose to be discerning, loving, justice-seeking, or whether we choose to tend to our own self-interest, God's at work. Through anything, God can work. Thank God. Really, thanks be to God, because despite of our fears of unleashing our dreams in a broken world, God is already there. It's not true that everything happens for a reason. Harm and suffering is not part of God's will. It's in spite of humanity's inaction or flawed action that God is working. In spite of us, through us, God is working for good. We can take comfort in the assurance of God's presence in our lives and in the leaders like Joseph who say, "Fear not, I will provide for you and your children." I read Genesis again. Sometimes it feels like I read it for the first time. And I was struck by the number of times in the story where God remembers the characters, where it says God remembers Rachel and she has a baby, where Joseph knows of the presence. Am I with God? I know I'm with God. It's all through Genesis. It's actually all through the biblical story. The sense of God remembering, God being present, even when it looks or feels like it shouldn't be that way. Fear not. The largest assurance of God throughout the whole Bible starts with Joseph, reminding his brothers, who he probably could have just thrown in prison, but he didn't. He wept with them, he forgave them, he revealed dreams to them, and they moved into a new dream. We live in the hint of the dream, attentive to the ways God is working through and around people, regardless of our human attitude or action. We live in the hint of the dream. We live to notice the places and where we can share our dreams, the things we imagine that continue to reflect the light of God. Thanks be to God.